Hey guys, Victoria here and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. Today we are going to be doing a non-spoiler review over the movie The Dark Places. The movie was written by Amber Shaw and it was directed by Ned Record, and this was done in 2 weeks, guys. Crazy. The Dark Places is a 2020 thriller mystery film about a murder mystery fan club connoisseur type of group, if you will. They work to solve cold cases, which are, as you know, cases that have never been solved before due to lack of evidence or all sorts of other odd things. And of course, within the Coolers, there is a character named Liz who becomes obsessed with a case that's really close to her heart. A murder took place in her hometown that was never solved. She's really hell-bent on solving it, and that obsession kind of takes her to a few dark places. Don't roll credits yet. Something really great happened with this film. It was produced by Hollywood Shakespeare, and I do want to thank my friend Gordon Kelly for giving me this film to be able to watch. Super excited to talk about it with you guys, and I don't know, like I said, they were able to do something really cool with this film because it was shot while we were under the stay-at-home order across the country and even other parts of the world. So that is definitely something I want to talk to you guys about. So of course, as I mentioned, there are several characters throughout the movie, but the one I do want to talk about is Liz Barrow, who is our main character, who was portrayed by Jessica Record. Liz was a very interesting character. There was a lot going on within her head. You could always see those gears turning, and you can see just kind of how disconnected she was from everyone, and how you slowly see over time that obsession building up within that character. And I do think Jessica Record did a great job with that in being able to portray what was said about that character on paper and just bringing it to life. So I really do appreciate the work she was able to do. One of the things I will say though is that I do wish that there was more to Liz as a character. She was very, I guess, 2D for me personally. There was a lot of things that you just kind of, I don't know, I don't always like to be spoon-fed everything. And I also don't like to be set so far back away that I'm like running to catch up to where the character is, if that makes any sense. I feel like in this case, I was kind of set way back and trying to catch up to where the character was, because one of the things you learn about Liz is that she's a struggling actor who moved out to LA with her husband, Drew Barrow, who is played by Jessica's real husband, Ned Record. And you just kind of see how maybe at some point being an actress was very important to her, but she really got really immersed into this this fan club, the Coolers. And so you see that the Coolers kind of take priority over to something that she had passion for. I was kind of looking for a bit more from that character in regard to like, well, why? You know, what happened there? Like where did that disconnect come in? Is that disconnect coming from a deeper place, or is it all just surface level? Like, is it just, you know what, I'm not interested in it anymore? And is that something that as an audience we're just supposed to be like, all right. But yeah, for me personally, I would have liked a little bit more in regard to details about this character, just so that way I wasn't just thrown on board with her. But that's just my personal preference. Maybe for you, the way that we jump in with that character is perfectly fine. I do feel like it works better in some movies versus others. I do think, like I said, for this one, I just wish there had been a little bit more. Being able to relate to the characters is something else I want to talk about before I move on very quickly. Maybe you've experienced these things, or maybe you've seen other people who have experienced these things, so you can relate in some way. We have Drew being neglected by Liz, who's is very consumed by all of the clues that her and her friends are gathering in order to solve this case. You have someone being overwhelmed and very stressed out within the Coolers group. You have someone who's really wanting to fit in and is really kind of doing everything they can to show that they're important, show that they're there to help, show that they're there for other people. You even have somebody like Liz, who's very obsessed, who's a perfectionist, who's trying her best to solve something, and it's like, okay, tunnel vision, I'm focusing on this one thing. I can't do this at the same time. So whether you experience that yourself or whether you know someone else, I feel like that's where that relatability comes in, and I like being able to have that, at least that little bit. But I do feel like in regard to the way some of the other characters were written in just a few of the performances, I do feel like those things together could have been a lot stronger, just to kind of help hammer home that relatability. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the script was written by Amber Shaw. Amber, she had this really cool idea in her head, and it was awesome that she was able to morph it into this script that we have here. I think she did a great job with the pacing. I think she did a great job with the number of characters that we had. I do think that sometimes when you do have quite a few characters, that other ones can kind of fall to the background or just kind of like fall to the side. And we do see just a little bit of that with some of the characters, like I mentioned previously. There are some characters you're just kind of like, oh, okay, versus being like, oh yeah, you know what, I really like this person, I really like that person. So and you know, granted, they're not necessarily there to all move the story along, but it definitely would have been nice to see them contribute a little bit more to Liz as a character and just kind of moving her story forward even. Also, the plot that she set up was really nice. I like the idea. I like what they were trying to do with everything. I do think the execution could have been a little bit stronger in regard to how we got to that place. But I like the idea, like how the film ended. I love that. I love being able to have that reveal. The story as a whole, like the idea of it is really awesome. I love the tagline of the film, "The killer has left a chat." Like, I like this idea of these people coming together every week or several times a week at this point, kind of doing like these Zoom calls, and they're trying to take notes to figure things out. Also, they have moments where they're trying to like check on each other while others are unbothered or unmoved by being checked on. So you just kind of have a lot of that, and I like that environment. I like and appreciate what they were trying to do and what Amber was trying to convey about certain people who have obsessions and people that neglect people and just kind of like losing yourself in something. I like that. I like what she was trying to convey there. One of the most important things I want to talk about this film is the way it was shot. Most of us are still staying at home in regard to COVID and are trying to stay safe, and so we may not be able to see our friends and family or co-workers or anyone like that, and so we tend to use whether you use FaceTime or some sort of like video chatting thing. A lot of people are using Zoom or like Google calls or whatever everything's called these days, but I like that in the film, that's how they were able to shoot everything. They were able to shoot everything through like a Zoom calls, which makes sense for this group. You know, maybe Liz can't meet this other character every day or every week because she's at home rehearsing, and this person probably has a 9-to-5 or something like that. And so you have the ability to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Like, this was the perfect scenario. And there's even like a hint of like, oh, maybe these characters have never even met in person before. Maybe they're only friends online. So I think that COVID kind of really pushed us all to kind of try new stuff out and try to really reach down deep and get very creative. And I feel like Ned and Amber and everyone involved really succeeded with this idea. There's something about like seeing a movie through that webcam lens that really kind of can be spooky, because you know, you may have a certain thing that happens in one person's little camera block that you may not see the first time through. And I like them being able to sprinkle stuff like that throughout the film. Aside from seeing the movie through that webcam lens, we do have a few scenes with Liz and Drew at home. I do wish that we kind of had a better idea of when things changed for them, or have things been like that for a very long time. Like, I think that's what was missing right there for me. It's just kind of like, okay, well, what am I working with the previous relationship, or how was the relationship before this? Did this just start, or, you know, has she always been like this? Or, you know, just kind of figuring that out about those two characters. I do think it helped to break up that constant Zoom call sort of setting within the film. Again, it's really awesome that they were able to kind of take those virtual and physical film techniques and kind of like set up filming schedules and set up other people's computers. And I really like that Ned and everyone involved really put their all into this, because it's challenging just to set up and meet up with people for a Zoom call every other week, every week, whatever you have going on with your work or your friends or family. It's challenging to kind of get everybody together in general. So being able to do that during this quarantine time and make a film out of it is awesome. So kudos to them on that. I don't know, it inspires me. It inspires me to just kind of like get out of my creative funk and just do something really awesome like this. There are a lot of moments in this film where you're very comfortable in regard to feeling cozy because of how the movie's set up. These people are all at home talking and chatting. But there are also a lot of moments that have you on the edge of your seat. And I like that. This movie isn't a jump scare movie. It isn't something where something scary is happening every 5 minutes or doors are creaking or things like that. I like those types of movies. You just never know exactly what's gonna happen. And I like that. You just kind of have to keep your ears open and your eyes peeled for certain conversations people are having, things like that. And I think that's what makes this type of movie fun. It's a nice popcorn flick you can watch with your significant other, spouse, best friend, parents, siblings, cousins, pet, whoever you're at home with, staying safe, I hope. Again, I really do want to thank Hollywood Shakespeare for giving me the chance to be able to experience this movie, experience these characters, this story, and just to be able to have something fun to watch, honestly. Just so you guys can kind of be on the edge of your seat and have some fun at home during these crazy times. I do have a discount code for this film in my description box down below this video. It is called Geeky Box. So I have the link there where you can go watch the movie. Just type in that discount code, Geeky Box, and you'll be able to get a nice little discount off the film and be able to enjoy it with whoever you want to. That's it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a like rating down below. And of course, guys, if you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get more movie reviews like this. And, you know, while we're at it, switching things out of order, let me know down in the comments, are you a fan of murder mystery podcasts? Are you a fan of podcasts in general? Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!